Hi there, I'm Shondell from Life Puzzle. Have you ever wondered what makes people tick? I absolutely did, which is why I went on to go and study neurolinguistic programming, which is how we use the language of the mind in order to get the results that we want. I found that a lot of people actually see the world in totally different ways, and I'm sure that you've noticed that when you're communicating with other people about how one person can have one particular view and the other one can have such a different view that you wonder how they came to that conclusion. So I'm going to share with you 3 keys in terms to really understanding people and really making sure that you can get the best out of any communication that you have. And the first thing that I wanted you to pay attention to out of these 3 is the fact that it's all about being interested. So what you need to do is you need to focus on what is it that this other person is trying to tell me, and what specifically is the message that they want to get across to me rather than your understanding. I see all too many times, both in business and in personal situations, where people will actually cut off the other person to finish the sentence for them. And they often miss the meaning that the person that was communicating with them was trying to convey. So that's about assumption, and that's about trying to be interesting as opposed to being interested in what it is that they're trying to communicate, and really getting that with full clarity. The second thing is about language. I don't know if you know this or if you've noticed, but your language is extremely unconscious to you. It's one of those things that we do in our heads, totally unconscious to us, and so often we will string together sentences without thinking about what the sentences or the meanings of the words that we're using are actually doing to the person we're communicating with. There is actually a way that you can use your language with volition and with intention to get the outcomes that you want. So you need to start thinking about, what does these series of words that I'm using mean to the other person? Is it the language that they can understand? Is it something that they're interested in hearing in that particular order? And how can I be more compelling while still feeding that information to in the way that the person listening wants to hear it? And the third thing we need to focus on is whether or not we're actually delivering the message with the right physiology and the right tonality. So as you watch the person that's communicating with you, there'll be certain cues about the type of voice that they have, the volume, the pitch, the speed at which they talk. And in NLP, we call this matching and mirroring. And that's where you essentially match or mirror what the other person is doing in order to build rapport unconsciously. And this happens with tonality as well. I don't know if you've met those people that they say it's not what you said, it's just the way that you said it. And so tonality can play a massive part in how people understand us and how we understand them. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but basically 7% of our communication or rapport in communication is made up of words. The other 93% is all about the physiology and the tonality. So make sure that you're focusing on what it is that you're doing with your communication, not just with your words, but also with your tonality and your body language. And feel free to message us and tell us how it worked out for you. Have a great week. Be well, be empowered.